So I signed up for my first 600 kilometer Randonneuring event, which works out to about 373 miles. And for this event, we had 40 hours to finish the ride, which started just southeast of Charlotte, North Carolina, and Monroe, North Carolina, which goes down to the coast. We went through South Carolina to the coast at Sunset Beach, turn around at about mile 180, and work our way back to the first hotel, which is at mile 262, sleep for a few hours, and then have a lighter second day of 114 miles. And so this is my first 600 kilometer event, and I started randonneuring about a year ago, and I really enjoy riding with these people that I've been riding with, the Asheville International Randonneurs. I did my first event with them almost a year ago today. It was a 300K event, and the people were just so welcoming and so excited for me, and I feel like they were just so genuine and so genuinely stoked that I did my longest ride at the time. And then I started following them on Strava and seeing them post rides that are like 1,000 miles or like 700 miles, and realize that these people are absolutely beasts, but they're so nice and so encouraging. So that's something that I've tried to reciprocate, or try to do my best to be encouraging and welcoming to other people as they push their limits and they challenge themselves. And that's kind of like how I view it. We're all just trying to do better and challenge ourselves and have fun on the bike. And so leading up to this event, there was a couple curveballs that I had thrown at me. The first is that my wife and I had our first kid in June, and so I had a significant time where I was not riding as much. And then Asheville got hit with a hurricane that caused terrible flooding and devastation to the area, where we were without power for over a week, and then without clean water for over a month. And so I had a long time off the bike, but this year I'm still aiming to do my randonneuring series, where I have to do a 200K, a 300K, a 400K, and a 600K. And then the other curveball is, as we get closer and closer to this ride, the weather forecast looks horrible. It's forecasted to rain the entire first day, and then it's forecasted to have terrible headwinds the entire second day. There ends up being 5 of us that start this ride, and we roll out pretty close to 5:30 in the morning, and I'm pleasantly surprised by this weather. So the forecast called for rain the entire first day. Literally from 6 o'clock in the morning until midnight, it's supposed to rain. But when we start the ride, it's cold, and I'm wearing shoe covers, and I'm wearing all the clothes that I have, and the thickest gloves that I have when we start out. But I'm so thankful that there's no rain, and it's definitely overcast, it's definitely cold, but I'll take it. I'm super stoked that there's no rain, because that was really concerning me. I did not want to get rained on for 30 hours or however long it took to do the ride. And so I end up riding with these 2 guys, both named Philip, and they're super strong riders. And I try to keep up with them as long as I can, and I break my own rules of don't try and hold on to fast people's wheels. But here we are, and we end up forming a group, and there's Mimo, and I end up riding with Mimo a little bit. Mimo is much smarter than I am. Mimo realizes that these guys are riding super hard and super fast, and he drops off from the group shortly after this, and I hang on as long as I can, and then I end up dropping off from the group as well, and just ending up riding my pace. And I end up catching the Phillips at a few of the controls where they were riding super hard and taking very long breaks. compared to Mimo and what I ended up doing, I just tried to eat as fast as I could and fill up my bottles and then hit the road and just slow roll it and just ride my pace for as long as I could. And so this is about where Mimo and I drop off. So fast forward here, it's nighttime, and I'm getting pretty close to mile 180 here. And as you can see, the rain has started, and my fender set up. I just had cheapo clip-on fenders that are called Soda Pop fenders from Portland Design Works. And they're performing really well for what they are. Mostly the rear fender, especially, is keeping the rain from slinging up on my back, which I'm excited about. And then also at this point, I'm just stoked that it didn't rain on me the entire day like the forecast said it would. And the temperatures are feeling pretty good, and I think this part of the ride is fun. It's a little gravel, turns into single track, which I capture on the way back. But I'm running 48C tires, so I am loving it, and some other people did not like this section so much. Just hit mile 180. I made it to Sunset Beach. I can hear the ocean. About to get some dinner, and it's about 7:20. Yeah. It is 8:13. I woke up at 7:30. I'm feeling all right. I got absolutely dumped on last night for probably the last 40 miles, and just these rain bands would hit, and huge raindrops, just getting pelted by water. But I was so close to the hotel. That was pretty cool. And then I felt better than I thought I would. I was just ready to be done riding for the day at like mile 210-ish. And so I limped along for the last 52 miles to the hotel. So yesterday I rode 262 miles. Today is a lighter day, 114 miles. And I think I'm going to finish, which is awesome, and hopefully the wind is not soul-crushing today. Just past mile 280, it's still raining. But it's so much better than it was. The headwind isn't brutal like it was. I was in my granny gear, mashing, going 5 miles an hour, getting pelted by rain that stung my face. So, as long as that doesn't happen again, that would be awesome. Some of the first blue skies all day. Good feeling. I don't think I really can over-exaggerate how horrible this rainstorm was that happened in the morning. It was about 9:30 in the morning, and I checked one of the guy's ride reports, and according to his app, it said that the gusts reached over 45 miles an hour, and it was dumping buckets. It was like driving through the most intense rainstorm you've ever driven through in your life, going 45 miles an hour and rolling down the window and sticking your head out. That's exactly what it felt like. It was absolutely brutal. And then we are going through these really pretty fields at golden hour, but the headwind is punishing you, and so it made for a really hard second day that was supposed to be kind of a lighter second day, but I was able to get it done and finished my first 600K. So I completed the ride, and one thing that I didn't capture on video, that my last clip was probably 10 miles to go. Uh, with 6 miles to go, my shifting went out. And so I only had I could run, I had a one by, so I had, my bike was in the hardest gear in the 11 tooth cog, and I had one shift, so I could shift into like the 12 tooth cog, and that's it. So, for the last 6 miles, I effectively had a two speed, or basically a single speed with really poor gearing. But I was able to mash up the final few hills, and I was able to finish at 6:42, which is about 3 hours away from the time cap. And the ride wasn't what I expected. The miles, to me, they weren't the hardest part. The hardest part was the headwinds. And so that was a strange, it was strange because I was thinking that the rain was going to be really bad, but I mean, the rain was really bad at times, but really it was just those sustained headwinds. And then the ride would open up into these big farming fields, and there was no trees to cut the wind, and so the wind got even more severe. And but it's fine. I mean, I was able to get it done and feeling really accomplished. And I don't think I will be registering for the 1,000K this year, but maybe after a couple weeks, I may change my mind. And I'm not looking forward to doing another 600K anytime soon, but I know that I'll be ready next year to do another one, and hopefully one where the weather is a little bit more favorable.